I'm Bobby Thompson with FTR TV, here with Bill Siemantel to cover their latest win at ICAST 2024. Bill, why don't you tell me a little bit about what you got here?
Well, the cool thing about it, I've been in the swim bait industry making baits and fishing baits for about 30 years. My line is the BBZ. I was fortunate enough to start working with FishLab about 3 years ago to come on board and start coming out with some new innovative swim baits that have more than just the standard chunk and wind. In swim bait fishing, you want to be able to have versatility in techniques. A tool that can do multiple techniques means you have a chance to catch more fish more often. Okay. So this year coming in, and this goes back 3 years ago, so I started 3 years ago. Every time we come to Florida, they're like, you need to do one of your swim baits in a saltwater version. We know you can hit it out of the park for freshwater, but we need a mullet that can fish the skinny water around mangroves, around the docks, sitting on top of the shell beds, but we need a twist. And I said, I'll go to work with it. So this year what we did is we came out with a 6-inch and a 4.5. The 6-inch is approximately 1.5 ounces. The 4.5-inch is approximately 5/8 ounce. So the cool thing is with the hooks, we're putting a size 2 double on the 6-inch BKK, and then we have a 5 and a 6 on the 4-inch. And what that does is you want to make sure the hooks don't marry. That's the biggest thing in swim baits, is being able to throw a bait out there that doesn't foul hook, either across the front of the line or the hook's marrying, because man, sometimes you only have one shot at catching a monster fish and you don't want that to happen to you. It comes down to the weighting. Now here's the beauty of understanding swim baits. Most swim baits are always built heavy, so it's a chunk and wind. It's almost like a rattle trap site. You want to throw it out in chunk and wind. Well, I've been doing this for 30 years, and what I found out, understanding suspended animation, there's a technique within that triggers big fish. So if you understand like a float and fly, a jig underneath the bobber, it suspends. It's one of the best techniques out there for catching big fish. A drop shot is reversed, weight on the bottom, bait above it, suspends. A rip bait that suspends, big fish. Nobody's ever done it with swim baits, but secretly in my garage, I've been doing this in tournament fishing for 30 years. I've always weighted my swim baits to go down to be able to hover as long as it can in one position. Big fish or any fish, when they come up to approach a bait, they don't want a bait if you stop it to fall out of zone or float out of zone. They want it in their face. So that's the beauty of the BBZ concept, is doing a bait that you could throw out there, let it go in the water column. The 6-inch, built on 20-pound test mono, it will drop 1 foot every 5 seconds. Super slow. The 4.5 will drop 1 foot every 3 seconds with 15 fluorocarbon. By adjusting this, if you want a super slow, put 30-pound test mono on it, it'll go down a couple feet. Monofilament floats. It's a bobber. So this bait will go down at a certain level and almost hover there. You want it to go quicker, you thin out the line and it cuts through. The friction of the line in the water will make the bait drop. We built all the baits with a 3-degree head angle, so when you throw it out there on a slack line, it's called the death spiral. The bait will turn and slowly look like a live bait dying and spiraling down.
I love that.
So that is the key. If you do a taut line, this bait will just shimmer and go down super slow. When it gets to the bottom, and here's the magic, it will go down the bottom and it will suspend off the hooks. So the beauty of that, you know, when you hear topwater guys going, I'm working a walk the dog technique, phenomenal. You ever walk the dog on the bottom with a bait? No, never happened. This, in wintertime, some of our big fish will invert and just go to the bottom looking for trout, you know, sculpin, you know, crawdads and stuff. Out here, the mullet, a lot of the bait fish get to the bottom. You can bring this to the bottom and just do small twitches with your rod tip, and this will actually walk the dog across the bottom.
Nice.
When a big fish inverts, there's a pressure change. When a fish comes down on this, it pushes pressure. This bait will actually lift up and will start moving away from it. That creates that predatory, you know, prey instinct, and the fish just clobber it. So there's so much built into this. You want to fish it on top water, high rod tip, slow roll it, nice slow V-weight. Fish are active, stripers, redfish, snook, freshwater, all the bass, trout, you name it. You put your rod tip down and you burn it, and it'll V-wake as fast as you can, and when you stop it, the bait will do 180 degrees and turn right back out to fish.
That's amazing.
So there are so many different techniques. Rip, pause, jerkbait, does it. You want it mope, you can put it straight underneath the boat, and what happens with your line tight, this will actually suspend underwater. So when the smallies come up under the shade of your boat, the followers, I hang one of these with a 4-inch off the boat, and the fish will come up and they'll eat it just sitting there suspended in the water column because it's so natural.
That's awesome.
So fresh or salt water, these baits are just, they're actually incredible. And I almost don't want to do this because I've been winning tournaments and catching big fish for a very long time. And I found out a long time ago the power of suspended animation. That is the key for targeting bigger fish, no matter if it's fresh or salt water. It's not always about speed. It's about creating the illusion of realism and making the fish think it's accomplishing its own goal. You want to look through the fish's eyes and how the fish approach prey. And when you get stuff so natural in their realm, it's like giving candy to a baby. I hate to say that, but you catch big fish.